Welcome to the Sports Show. I'm Andy Marks. This is Ocala Star-Banner City Editor Jim Ross, and we're here today to talk about golf. And that's because Ocala has accomplished a sort of banner moment this year with the USGA coming to town for the Women's Mid-Amateur Championship. Jim, maybe you could tell me why is this important for Ocala? Why is this a big event?
Well, Andy, I'm certainly going to be going out there to watch the tournament at least one day, maybe more. It's a big deal for several reasons. First of all, the USGA has never had a championship in Marion County. USGA is the governing body of golf in this country. They run the US Open, the US Amateur. This tournament is part of that roster of championships. I think they have 13 of them altogether. It's a big deal. Plus the fact that the quality of golfers who are coming to Marion County to play here, we've never had anything quite like that. We've had, certainly there are some excellent local tournaments that draw great fields. This is a little bit different. This is a national championship in its category. It's also a big deal because Bernadette Castro out at Golden Hills and the other organizers of the tournament, they really think that this will shine a little bit of a spotlight on Marion County, which is known, of course, for horse farms and Silver Springs and lots of other things, maybe not so much as a golf destination. But when people take a look at it, albeit maybe just for a short amount of time, they'll see how much golf enthusiasts have to love about Marion County. Maybe it'll inspire some visits, maybe it'll inspire some other tournaments to come to Golden Hills or other tournaments, who knows. There's always an intangible factor with things like this, but it's a good thing for Marion County.
Let me ask you, people are familiar with, I think, the biggest stories in professional golf. Everybody knows about Tiger Woods at the Masters. Mm-hmm. People watch the Ryder Cup. People know who Annika Sorenstam is. Tell me some things that people might not be aware of from the annals of USGA championships.
Well, especially when we talk about the amateur ranks, Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, everyone knows those names. And I'm the biggest fan for Tiger and pro golf that you'll find. But golf, people who really love golf understand that the amateur part of the game has always had a very special part in the heart of golf. Bobby Jones, and on down the line. Bobby Jones being the most famous amateur of them all. But it's an important part of the game, and it's worth preserving, and it's worth celebrating. And since it's in our county, I think it's worth going to see. I'm not trying to drum up support for the tournament or anything like that. It is free admission and parking, so it's very easy to do if you're so inclined. But there's something worth celebrating about amateur golf, and I'm just glad to get a chance to get a look at it. I've seen some college golf and things like that. I've never seen anything quite like this. I'm looking forward to it.
And a USGA championship is a different format than what people watching golf weekends on TVs might be used to. They're going to play a couple rounds of stroke play to establish a 64-player field, and then the final 4 days, the winner will have crammed in 6 matches. And I'm hoping maybe I can ask you what is unique about match play golf.
Match play golf, stroke play, which we all watch on TV, you have to beat the entire field. Match play, it's man on man, or in this case, woman against woman. You play and try to get the lowest score on a hole and win the hole. Okay, it's not about the aggregate score at the end of the day. It's about how many holes you can win. So it's excellent competition. Unless a match is a runaway, and that happens sometimes even at this elite level. It happens. You catch somebody on a bad day. But usually, especially as you go on through the week, the matches will be very, very competitive, and you get to see a lot of very interesting strategy. Who gets to hit first off at the tee, and then how the other player responds, and the different way you handle a hole. It's a different kind of animal. It's very interesting to watch.
Okay, so let's talk about the field for a couple minutes. It's a very interesting field. You have more history with golf in general than me, so I've had to do some research, learn who's done what, who the favorites are. It's kind of hard to say because the mid-amateur format, the requirement to play is you have to be 25 as of October 3rd to be eligible for the field. So we've got a lot of mainstays in the field who are accustomed to these championships and playing every year. But the wild card, I think, are golfers who are just turning 25, and some of them may be a golfer who thrived playing in the Pac-10 and for whatever reason did not attempt to turn professional. They may have just turned 25. We may not know who she is yet, but she may come in here and play the best golf. We have, beyond that, every end of the spectrum. I spoke with a woman named Diane Lang, plays out of Weston in South Florida right now. Diane Lang is a 3-time senior women's amateur champion. That's quite a resume, and she's also a former professional. She played in LPGA and mini tour events. She played a season on the European tour. You do that, you take a few years off to raise a family, and then all of a sudden you can play amateur golf again. And I think that's how she got here today. Same thing with Wendy Golden, a name that some of you might remember because she won the qualifier here at Golden Hills. Wendy Golden played at the University of Tennessee. She reached the Final Four in the women's amateur, which is just a highly prestigious event. She was in a Final Four with Kelly Keeney, with Sayuri Pak. She lost to an Australian national champion. Wendy Golden is another woman who's had a couple kids. She took some time off. Now she's an amateur again. She shot a 74 at Golden Hills on a day that it was rainy and miserable and nobody else was under 80 save one golfer. And that experience here could give her an edge. I kind of liken her to Phil Mickelson before he won his first major. He had that albatross around his neck of maybe being the best golfer in the field to have not won a major before. I think that might be Wendy Golden. She may be the best amateur here not to have that USGA championship on her resume. Very competitive woman, and I think she'll be a factor. And then there's a lot of former champions. Last year's champion, Joan Higgins, a golfer from California, she won a very exciting one-up match, and those are the best ones. That's where everything comes down to the last hole, and whoever wins takes the trophy. Ellen Port from St. Louis, a 3-time champion. She hasn't won since 2000. She seems to be a mainstay in the semifinals. So that's just a few. I have no idea who's going to emerge. Some of these golfers might not even make it into match play. Somebody I have not heard of may end up the champion. But there will certainly be some fantastic golf.
Well, and I think that's part of what makes this tournament so special. When you watch on TV, you sort of know who the top players are, who's coming up the leaderboard. It's all, they show all this stuff. In this, it's more a pure factor of the sport. I mean, you could go out there and watch and just really see some things develop just in front of you. And without any expectations or knowing who did what last week or whatever, just sort of the pure competition of the day. And that's fun. And that's what's fun about sports. That's why people love, you could stop by and see a game, any sport and any level, and if it's a close competitive game, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Right. And let me, I'm looking forward to seeing you out there. I'm going to be out there every day. And let me just make a plea to people. You may not have heard of these golfers, but this is a unique and special event. I'm thrilled to be going out there to watch some of these matches. It's my job, but it's not going to feel like work. I do think that golf players, golf fans around Ocala should block out one morning, afternoon, come out and watch a few holes, and you'll be glad you did. Golden Hills will be glad you did. The USGA will be glad you did, and this I think could certainly lead to bigger events in the future. So I want to encourage you to stay tuned to Ocala.com and the Ocala Star banner for coverage throughout. Jim, thank you for joining the sports show today, and we'll see you out on the course.
My pleasure. Thanks.